sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, let's dive into this FA Cup match. Third round, as everyone knows, is known for upsets.
Yeah.
In this one, well, the scoreline says it all.
Yeah, it does.
Manchester City 8, Salford City 0.
Wow.
But there's more to it than just the win, right? I mean, you've got Premier League giants against a League Two team, but it's not just any League Two team. We're talking about a team owned by Manchester United legends.
Yeah, talk about a David and Goliath situation.
Oh, absolutely. And the FA Cup is always, I feel like it's made for these kinds of narratives.
It is, yeah.
The underdog taking on the big boys.
It doesn't always end at a giant killing, but
Right.
the possibility is always there.
Yeah.
It's so captivating.
So, I mean, you've got Manchester City consistently competing for titles.
Yeah.
And then you've got Salford City really battling it out in League Two.
Yeah.
Huge difference in resources, experience.
Absolutely.
But then you add in the fact that Salford is owned by the class of 92.
Right.
Gary Neville, Nicky Butt, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs. These are Manchester United icons.
Yeah.
Does that rivalry, does it add any extra pressure to either side?
It definitely adds a bit more, I guess, intrigue to the whole thing, especially with the Manchester rivalry.
Yeah.
These are guys that have been in the heart of Manchester football for decades.
Right.
But in terms of pressure, I think it's more about City avoiding an embarrassing upset.
Right.
Everyone's expecting them to just demolish Salford.
Yeah.
And that can be kind of an interesting situation mentally.
And they did. They avoided the upset.
Oh, yeah.
Spectacularly.
It did.
What I thought was really interesting, though, is that City used this match to give their younger players a chance.
Right.
James McAtee, Divin Mubama, Nico O'Reilly, they all made their FA Cup debuts.
Yep.
Almost like a look into the future of Manchester City.
It's strategic from Guardiola.
Yeah.
This match becomes a development platform.
Right.
Lower pressure environment for
Yeah.
these young players to get some experience.
Against a senior team.
Against a senior team, exactly. It's much more insightful than just watching them in training.
Right. And you can't talk about this match without talking about James McAtee.
Oh, absolutely not.
He had a hat trick.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Incredible.
This guy, he's been part of City's academy since he was 10 years old.
Wow.
Scores 3 goals in an FA Cup match.
Yeah.
It's the stuff of dreams, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But looking at the bigger picture here,
Yeah.
how does Man City's approach to developing their youth compare to other top clubs? Are they doing something different?
What's interesting is that Manchester City is investing a lot in their academy.
Okay.
Building a system to produce, top-tier talent
Yeah.
from within.
Yeah.
It's not just about winning youth tournaments.
Right.
It's about creating a pathway for those players to eventually break into the first team.
Right.
Look at their squad. Phil Foden,
Okay.
prime example.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then there's Jeremy Doku, 2 goals and 2 assists. Yeah.
His skill and vision was evident throughout the whole match.
He was key
Yeah.
in a lot of City's attacks, constantly creating chances,
Yeah.
dictating the pace of the game.
Yeah.
You could see his confidence grow with every touch.
And even Jack Grealish, who, he's been struggling to find the back of the net,
Yeah, he has.
managed to end his goal drought with a penalty.
Yeah.
Sometimes all it takes is that one moment
Oh, yeah.
to break the spell. Right.
Absolutely.
Reignite a player's form.
Yeah, and especially for someone like Grealish,
Right.
high-profile signing, carrying a lot of weight on his shoulders.
Yes.
Scoring can be a huge psychological boost.
Right.
And in a team like City, where the competition is so fierce,
Oh, absolutely.
a goal like this can be a reminder
Yeah.
of his quality
Right.
and a springboard for future performances.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let's not forget about Salford City.
Right.
They were outmatched,
Yeah.
but they did have a few chances to score.
Do you think those missed opportunities were just down to City's defense?
I mean,
Well, were there some tactical decisions that might have played a role?
it's a bit of both, I think. City's defensive quality, even with the younger players,
Yeah.
is undeniable.
Sure.
But I think Salford's approach might have been influenced by the occasion.
Right.
They knew they were up against one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can lead to a more cautious approach,
Right.
focusing on minimizing the damage
Yeah.
rather than taking risks.
So maybe a little nerves,
Yeah.
a little hesitation to go for it.
Yeah, let's look at one moment in particular.
Okay.
In the 30th minute,
Okay.
Salford had a promising counterattack.
Right.
They had numbers going forward,
Yeah.
but instead of playing a direct pass to their striker, who was making a run
Right.
behind City's defense.
Yeah.
They chose a safer pass back to the midfield.
Okay.
It allowed City to regroup and snuff out the danger.
Right.
It's a small decision. But it reflects that tactical dilemma
Right.
faced by an underdog.
Okay, so let's hear from the players and managers.
Okay.
James McAtee, obviously over the moon,
Yeah.
called it a special moment.
Right.
He'd remember forever. I mean, can you imagine?
You can sense the raw passion
Yeah.
and the significance of this moment for him.
Right.
This isn't just about the goals.
Yeah.
It's about fulfilling a lifelong dream, proving himself at the highest level.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Really highlights the human element of the game.
It does. And then you have Pep Guardiola, who he's praising Grealish's performance,
Right.
but emphasizing the importance of competition within the team.
Yeah.
It's interesting how he keeps that hunger and drive going,
Yeah.
even in a match where, I mean, you kind of know what's going to happen, right?
Well, that's the key to Guardiola's success.
Yeah.
It's this constant pursuit of excellence.
Right.
Creates an environment where every player, no matter who they are, how much experience they have,
Yeah.
they're constantly pushed to get better,
Right.
to earn their spot.
Yeah.
That internal competition,
Yeah.
it drives them
Yeah.
to perform at such a high level.
Even against a team like from a lower division.
Exactly.
And then you have Carl Robinson,
Right.
Salford's manager. I mean, he acknowledged the difference in class, obviously.
Of course.
But he emphasized his team's ambition,
Right.
calling the match a glimmer of what we want to be.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really interesting way to look at it. You know,
Yeah.
not dwelling on the loss,
Right.
but using it as motivation,
Absolutely.
a reminder of where they want to be.
It speaks to that growth mindset.
Yeah.
Even in defeat, there's a chance to learn to grow. For Salford,
Yeah.
this could be so valuable.
Yeah.
A chance to see what it takes
Yeah.
to compete at that level.
Yeah, almost like a benchmark, a
Exactly.
measuring stick, you know? And they've got the backing of the class of 92.
Right.
A group that knows,
They know what it takes.
yeah, for sure. So this whole experience
Yeah.
could really be a catalyst for Salford.
It could.
But I think this match raises some bigger questions
Okay.
about English football as a whole, you know?
Yeah.
This kind of scoreline. I mean, it's entertaining,
Sure.
but it also shows this growing disparity
The gap.
between the Premier League elite
Right.
and everyone else.
And the rest. Yeah.
Is this something to be worried about?
Mhm.
Or is this just how the sport is evolving?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a debate
yeah.
among fans and pundits.
Right.
On one hand, you have the magic of the FA Cup,
Right.
its potential for upsets, those David and Goliath stories.
Yeah.
We love them.
We do.
But then results like this,
Yeah.
they expose the financial imbalances.
Right.
The structure of English football.
Right, because the Premier League has so much money.
Yeah.
It allows those top clubs to really invest
Yeah, they can bring in
in youth
the
development.
best young players from all over the world.
Right, and that makes it even harder.
Yeah, it creates a talent pool
Right.
that's really hard to compete with
Yeah.
if you're a lower league team.
So the FA Cup almost becomes a showcase.
Yeah, it's not just about the individual matches.
Yeah.
It's a reflection of English football
The whole landscape.
as a whole. Exactly.
And then it makes you think, well, is the FA Cup still relevant?
Right.
Some people say these blowouts make it less appealing.
Yeah, less competitive,
Yeah.
more predictable.
Right.
And there's truth to that.
Yeah.
When the outcome seems obvious,
Yeah.
it takes away that excitement.
The unpredictability.
Exactly. The things that make cup competitions so great.
Right.
But then others say
Yeah.
that the FA Cup is still important,
Yeah.
even with these imbalances,
Yeah.
because it gives these smaller clubs
Yeah.
a platform
Yeah.
to test themselves against the best
Right.
and potentially earn some money.
It's a tough question.
It is, yeah.
No easy answers.
No, but has there been anything statistically to
Yeah.
support either side?
Yeah. Are upsets becoming less common?
Well, there has been some research done.
Okay.
One recent study
Yeah.
analyzed FA Cup results over the past few decades,
Okay.
and they found that upsets,
Yeah.
especially lower league teams, beating Premier League sides,
Right.
have been steadily declining.
So it seems like the gap really is getting bigger.
It does seem that way.
Then what can be done to address this?
Right.
I mean, should it even be addressed? Or
Right.
is this just the way it is now?
That's where the debate gets interesting.
Yeah.
Some people suggest
Yeah.
redistributing the wealth,
Okay.
more fairly.
Right.
Maybe through a new financial model for the Premier League.
Okay.
Others say change the FA Cup structure. It's like seeding lower league teams.
Right.
So they don't have to face these giants early on.
So it's not just about accepting it. It's
Yeah.
about trying to find solutions.
To make it more balanced.
Right.
To make sure it survives.
Right. But even with all of this,
Yeah.
the FA Cup still, it captures people's imaginations.
It does.
It's a tournament with so much history.
So much tradition.
And even in this era of super clubs and globalized football,
Yeah.
it still has that romantic appeal.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's something to be said for the unpredictability.
There is.
You know, upsets might not happen as much,
Right.
but they haven't disappeared.
No,
That possibility is
Yeah.
always there.
it is waiting to happen.
Yeah.
To get the fans excited.
And that's what keeps us coming back.
For sure.
That anticipation,
Yeah.
the hope.
The hope that this could be the year
Yeah.
for a fairy tale.
But beyond the scoreline, this match between Manchester City and Salford City, it gives you a look.
At the heart of English football,
Yeah.
you see those dreams driving these players, the
Yeah.
ambitions of these clubs,
Yeah.
and just the power of the game.
It's a microcosm of the sport.
It is.
You see the dedication of young players trying to make a name for themselves.
Right.
You see the tactical genius of managers like Guardiola.
Right.
And you see the spirit of underdogs like Salford
Yeah.
refusing to be defined by just one result.
Absolutely.
And that brings us to this thought-provoking question.
Yeah.
Can a result like this, a heavy defeat,
Yeah.
be a catalyst for growth?
Yeah.
I mean, could this be a turning point for Salford City? Something that fuels their ambition and pushes them to new heights.
It could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it. Those Salford players,
Yeah.
they were just on the pitch
Right.
with some of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
They saw that speed,
Yeah.
that precision, that tactical awareness
Of a team like Man City.
of a team like Manchester City. Exactly.
Yeah.
That can be, it can be a huge learning experience,
Right.
a bit of a reality check,
Right.
but also really inspiring.
It's like they got a sneak peek.
Behind the curtain.
Yeah, a look at what it takes
Exactly.
to compete at that level,
And that's invaluable.
especially for a club that wants to move up.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the technical stuff. It's
Yeah.
about the mentality.
The professionalism.
Yeah.
The dedication.
At a club like Man City.
Yeah. Those are things that Salford can try to emulate
Right. And,
as they build their own success.
Salford isn't just any League Two team.
No, they've got
They have the class of 92 behind them.
the backing of guys who know how to win.
They know what it takes.
They've been there.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to use this
Yeah.
to instill that winning mentality
Yeah. Yeah.
in the Salford squad.
So even though it was a big loss, it could actually be a good thing for them in the long run.
It could be a turning point.
Yeah. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Exactly. Facing Man City
Yeah.
might be the thing that sparks their rise.
So for anyone listening out there, keep an eye on Salford City.
Yeah.
This FA Cup run might be over,
Right?
but their story isn't.
No, not at all.
Who knows? Maybe in a few years we'll be looking back at this and saying, that was the moment
That was the moment.
that they really started to climb.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It's full of surprises.
Yeah.
Underdogs can overcome the odds.
Yeah.
Dreams can come true.
Yeah.
So keep exploring.
Yeah.
Keep learning.
Keep diving deep.
Keep diving deep into the world of sport.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.